Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about the simplifying fractions and how we do that. In what is simplifying fractions, or why do we need it? Simplifying fractions, or in other words, reducing fractions, means to make the fraction as simple as possible. So why, for example, to say 4/8 when you really mean half? Yeah, now I will explain you what that means. So, for example, in the case of pizza, as you see in the pictures, we have half pizza, right? But the way that we divide it does make sense. Like, in the way that you slice it is what we mean by 4/8 or 2/4 or 1/2. So that's why we say that 4/8 is equal to 2/4 or 2/4, or it is the same, like equal to 1/2. It really depends on how we divide it. How do we slice it, to how many slices? Although, to simplify a fraction, the first step is to find the greatest common factor. And then to divide the numerator, top number, and the denominator, the bottom number, by that greatest common factor that we found. The greatest common factor is a number that can be divided both by the numerator and denominator. And it should be a whole number. Usually, it depends on the numerator and the denominator that we have. For example, in case of 5 divided by 10, we will find the greatest common factor this way. We just divide each number like by 5, starting by 1, from 1. 5 divided by 1 is 5. And what is the second number that can be divided by 5? We cannot divide 2. We cannot divide 3 by 5. So 4, no, we cannot divide. So now we will divide 5 by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So next, let's divide and find the greatest common factor for 10. And divide 10 to each of these numbers. 10 divided by 1 is 10. 10 divided by 2, so it is 5. We cannot divide it by 3. We cannot divide 10 by 4. So let's go and get number 5. And 5 divided by 10 is 2. Sorry. Okay. 5 divided by 2. 5 divided by 10 is 2. So as we see the line, okay, it is the last number that is here. It is the smallest number. So we cannot go further. That's why we'll stop in here. And our greatest common factor for 5 divided by 10 is going to be 5. So that's why we divide our greatest common factor then in order to get our simplified form of our fraction. 5 divided by 5 is equals to 1. And 10 divided by 5 equals to 2. So by dividing like greatest common factor between 5 and 10, greatest common factor between 5 and 10 is 5. So we divide the numerator and denominator both by 5. And we get our simplified form as 1/2 of, let's say, half, or 1 divided by 2. Here I have got some examples for finding or simplifying the fractions. So for 20 divided by 25 is kind of pretty big number to leave it like this. That's why in order to make it the smallest number, reducing it to smallest to get the reasonable answer for our fraction, we will simplify it. And as we know, there is one number that can be divided both by these two. So yeah, let's go through the numbers. 20 divided by 1 is 20. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 20 divided by 3 we cannot divide. By 4 divided by 4 is 5. And 10 divided by 5 is 4. 20 divided by 6 we cannot. By 7 we cannot. By 8 we cannot. By 9 we cannot. By 10, 20 divided by 10, 2. And 11 we cannot. 12 we cannot. So 13 we cannot. 15 no. So 20 by 20 is 1. So as we see from this line, these are the common greatest factors, probably for this one but not for this one, but there is one number that should work both for them. Okay, now let's find the multiplier for this one, for 25. 25 divided by 1 is equals 25. 25 divided by, we cannot divide it by 2, by 3, by 4. So let's go by 5. Divided by 5 is 5. So we cannot divide by 6, by 7, by 8, by 9, by 10, by 12, by 13, by 15. So the next number that we can divide is 25. So 25 divided by 25 equals 1. So from this line, as we see, there is only one number that can work both for this and for 20 and 25, which is 5. So 20 divided by 5. So now we will divide our greatest common factor by our numerator and denominator, which is in this case 20 divided by 5 is 4, 25 divided by 5 is 5. Okay, this is our simplified form of 20 divided by 25. So the next one is example is 30 divided by 35. So yep, we will find the greatest common factor for these two. Alright, 30 divided by 1 is 30. 30 divided by 2 is 15. 30 divided by 3 We cannot divide by 3, so we cannot divide it by 4, by 5. We'll go to by divided by 5. Divided by 5 is 6. Divided by 6 is 5. Divided by 7, cannot, by 8, no, by 9, by 10. Divided by 10 is 3. Oops, sorry. Divided by 11, no, by 12, no, by 13, no, by 15. 2. Okay, let's stop here. So now for to find the denominator for 35. So let's start. 35 divided by 1 is 35. 35 divided by 2, we cannot, by 3, by 4, by 5. 35 divided by 5, no. So 35 divided by 5 is 7. 35. Okay, let's stop in here. Because as you see, we already found one greatest common factor that can be divided both by our numerator and denominator, which is 5. So now let's divide our greatest common factor that we found for the numbers that can be divided both by numerator and denominator in this case. So here 30 divided by 5 is 6, and 35 divided by 5 is 7. This is 6 divided by 7 is a simplified form of 30 divided by 35. Alright. Now let's go and find the greatest common factor for our 9 and 12. So, and yeah, we'll just 9. 9 divided by 1, 9. By 2 we cannot divide. By 3, 3 times 3, 3 divided by 9 divided by 3 is 3. So 9 divided by 4 we cannot. By 5, no. By 6, no. By 7, no. By 8, no. By 9. 9 divided by, so, oops, sorry. My 9 doesn't look like 9. 9 divided by 9 is 1. Okay. So now 12. 12 divided by 12 is, by 1 is 12. 12 by divided by 6 is 2. So 12 divided by, sorry, by 3 is 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Cannot divide it by 5. We can divide it by 6. It's here by 2. In 12 divided by 7, we cannot. By 8, no. By 9, no. By 10, no. By 11, just by 12. 12 divided by 12 is 1. So this is the line of our multipliers, let's say the greatest common factors. So as we see from here, there is one number that can be divided both by this and that. I mean, by this and that, I mean a numerator, which is